Welcome back to Landing Zone Home. Today I'll be doing some scheduled maintenance. I'll be doing a transmission service. I'll be upgrading the transmission pan and also go into a premium synthetic fluid. So stick around. My Dodge Ram 3500 calls for a transmission service at about 50,000 miles. Now there was a recall on my truck and they had to remove the transmission drain pan at 31,000 miles to do the recall service. And at that point the dealer replaced 7 quarts of fluid, but didn't touch the filters, of course. So now I'm going to have the filters replace, both of them, the sump filter and the spin-on. And I'm going to do something that I kind of take precautions. As you might know, I do tow and RV. From everything I've read and seen, the number one thing that causes transmission failure is heat. I'm going to do a transmission service, also going to replace the transmission drain pan, and I have gone with the Mag-Hytec pan for my 6.8 RFE transmission. Now this is quite a monster. I'm not sure what it weighs, but it's quite heavy. It's deeper than the pan that's on there now. So this should take about 12 quarts for a fluid drain and refill, whereas the standard drain pan would take about 8 quarts. So I think, and I'm just rounding these numbers off, I know it's going to take 12 to refill, and I think from the standard pan it would be like 8. So a couple of things about this pan and why I'm really doing this. The number one reason I'm doing this is for this drain plug. It has a magnetic drain plug right here where you can drain the fluid out, and I plan on doing that about every 15,000 miles. With the OEM drain pan, you have to remove the pan to get the fluid out. I'm not quite sure why they do that, especially on heavy-duty vehicles, other than it would entice people to take their trucks back into the dealer to get their transmission fluid replaced. So the other thing I like about this is it does carry more fluid, so I'm expecting that will help control the fluid temperature better, keep it running at a lower temperature, along with these cooling fins that's on the bottom. They are about a ½ inch deep, so that should help to cool it. On the inside of the pan, it will take a gasket. Unlike the rear differential that I replaced out, the Mag-Hytec rear differential cover had a O-ring in there. So it comes with all the hardware that's in there, comes with some instructions that's in there, and it comes with the gasket, which is in between these two pieces of cardboard here. So there is the third-party pan that I went with. Here is the transmission fluid that I'm going with. It's the Royal Purple Max ATF. If you've watched my videos in the past, especially the one where I replaced the rear differential and started using the Royal Purple Max Gear Oil, I'll put a link into that video because I had an issue with a shutter in my truck, and the Royal Purple oil took care of that. So based upon that and my own research, I have converted almost everything that I can to Royal Purple, and doing the research on this Max ATF, it is a replacement for the Chrysler ATF Plus 4 fluid, along with many other fluids that it's a direct replacement for. I've read good reviews about this. I've read testimonials from people that actually build transmissions, and they swear by this. And in the racing community, Royal Purple products are well known, especially the ATF, and there is a special blend of oil just for racing. So I'm going with this 12 quarts, expecting the temperature to go down. I don't expect the shifting to change at all. If you have one of these trucks with the 6.8 RFE, you know there is a little lag in some of the shifting. That's just the way they are, but I'll see how that goes. So I'm going to go down. I've got a buddy that has a shop right down the road from me, and he's going to actually do the work for me.
Well, that's going to keep you from getting it in the face.
Side by side of the Mag-Hytec pan on your left, the factory on the right, and the amount of volume you can see is quite significantly more in the Mag-Hytec. And the magnetic drain plug is right here. Well, I actually recorded this video almost 2 months ago, but due to the coronavirus restrictions, I haven't been able to complete it. I wanted to do some towing and see what kind of maximum temperatures I would get on the transmission, but I haven't done any towing. I've done a little driving around, and in 80-degree weather, the highest I've seen the transmission temperature get was 174, which really doesn't tell me anything, because without putting a weight, a real load on the vehicle, you really can't tell what the temperatures are going to go up to. But that's going to be the subject of another video. If I have any additional information in the meantime, though, I'll add that in the comments. I wanted to leave you with a couple of tips on swapping out your transmission drain pan. If you can, get you a vacuum pump and try to pump out as much of the fluid as you can before you attempt removing the transmission pan. Then once you do get down to removing the trans pan, take all the bolts out except two and loosen those up, and then try to work something into the corner of the pan where it will start to drain out. In the video, there's a picture of the draining, and if you looked real closely, you would see that there's something pushed up in there, a plastic screwdriver that would allow some of that fluid to drain out before you actually pull the pan off. On the filters, there's two tips there. On the screw-in filter or twist-on filter, there is a plastic bushing that goes on that, so be careful when you remove that filter that you also get that out. There is a replacement bushing that comes in the package, or at least it did with my filter, and I'm glad it was there, because it is plastic, like I said, and it got cross-threaded very easily, so we had to resort back to the original bushing and use that. On the sump filter, up inside is an O-ring, and it can be very difficult to get that O-ring out. So if you can't get it out, just make sure you do not put your new O-ring in on top of your old O-ring, then you're going to have some issues. Well, anyway, I'm glad that I've got this done. I can now change out that transmission fluid at 15 or 20,000 miles by simply taken the drain plug out, let the fluid come out, and I'll add my 11 quarts back in, and then I'll be good to go. And then every 60,000 miles or so, or maybe more than that, I can go back in and change those filters. So let's wrap it up right here. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching.